we're going to go ahead and get started with our discussion now. Some of you may be new and may be hearing this discussion for the first time, and we appreciate that. We appreciate that someone thought very highly of you and encouraged you to come to a presentation like this, and we respect that. Now, whoever it was thought that you might find some value in hearing some of the information that we present on meetings like this on Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock, Thursday nights at 6 o'clock, Sundays at 5 o'clock p.m., all Eastern Standard Time. So for the record, my name is Jonathan Jones, and it's November the 8th, 2022. It's my pleasure, my privilege to be your host and moderator for the evening. And tonight, Rob Martin is co-host. Jeff Ashby will no doubt be joining us fairly soon as co-host as well. And our goal is to share with you information that could make a difference when you make decisions about your health and well-being. We have lots of clients who have decided that they would like to have nutrients in their food, that they would like to have something that could potentially make their body work more optimally. And with that, they're getting some really unique results. I'm hoping that I can share with you an audio recording that I got today. And a friend of mine called me up, and he said it was okay for me to share his story with anyone. So, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to share it with you. So there's no picture, there's no video at all. And I'm not going to share the entire thing because we were having a phone conversation. So our little conversation went on for a while, but I think the first 2 or 3 minutes of the conversation, you'll find it to be kind of interesting and in some respects, mind-boggling. So let me just share it with you, and then you can kind of decide. The disclaimer that I have to share with you is none of the comments that you'll be hearing tonight has been evaluated by the FDA. They've not evaluated. I'm not sharing any information from a script. I'm not reading from a script. I'm sharing with you personal information that I have researched. I'm not a medical doctor. Please don't do anything I say because I say do it. I'm a researcher. And I'm deadly serious about researching because my history goes back to the day a little over 20 years ago, 21 years coming up, that I watched my mother die. And that day that the intensive care nurse said to me that she was praying for my mom's immune system to kick in, that was game over for me. I was no longer interested in computer electronics and engineering. I dropped and did an about face because there's nothing that I could have done no piece of equipment that I could have engineered that would have extended my mother's life, not even 5 minutes. But if I had an immune system kicker in her at that moment, there would have been a chance. That's what they were looking for. That's what the hospital was looking for. So I was determined to make sure that I found immune system kicker inners and that I would be able to help anyone who wanted to understand their value and the benefits of it to get clarity of that. Because I don't think we should be going through life not knowing that there's something that we can do for our immune system. I don't think that that's fair. I don't think it's right. And I also don't think that it's right that our food does not have the components in it that should cause our immune system to work in an optimal way. And I'm trying to be very nice about it, but I think it's downright diabolical that someone engineered out the food from food. I don't know why you would even want to do that. I don't understand why there would be considered some benefit in removing food from food. But folks, that's what's happened. And and I no longer want to mince words about it anymore. So if you don't find this video on YouTube, is because YouTube didn't agree with me in that statement. So I'll let you know that right off the bat. When they don't like something, they don't mind taking your little video right off offline, off their platform. Okay, I think I found it. Here's the audio recording. I'm going to finish the testimonial. I mean the disclaimer. Keep in mind that while the FDA has not evaluated these any of the comments that I'm making, testimonials that you'll hear are purely anecdotal. What happens to one person may or may not happen to you. We don't know all the clinical circumstances surrounding each person's condition. We don't know what other things may have played a role in their getting the kinds of results that they describe or claim to be receiving. So keep that in mind, as you again make decisions about your health and well-being. But we do believe that the information that you're hearing can be taken into consideration when making a decision about your health and well-being. All right, so I'm going to play this one for you. This is again, it's a conversation I was having with a friend. He called me up because he was just so excited about something that he had just experienced in his own after a visit with his cardiologist. Here we go.
And that was the one that's for the heart and for the brain or something. I forget because my wife was giving it to me. So I started back power walking at the beach.
How long ago was this now?
When I started back power walking?
Yeah,
I spent maybe about 3 months.
3 months ago.
And I'm up to, I do an hour both ways, but I don't power walk like most people. I'm fast. I'm very fast because I used to run track and do stuff, and that's one of the reasons why my heart muscle was so strong. So Dr. Guzman.
Is it audible?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
There's my cardiologist. When I went to see him, he said, "Well, now let me tell you something." He said, "It's been years since you blew this thing away." He said, "Because I did it all the way to the top without breathing through my mouth. I don't know if you've ever seen how they do that.
Oh my goodness.
He said, "There's only 2 people that have done it." He said, "You and this ex-Army Ranger." He said, "Now, that was 15 years ago, so don't expect this to be that easy." I said, "Okay, no problem. We'll wait and see." So I was taking the products, and then I went to the test. And the first thing they do now is they put this colored dye through your body, and they put you through the scanner to make sure that you don't have any blockage, that something could happen to you while you're taking the test. They take color pictures of your heart. He says, "Well, you have no blockage." He said, "Everything is really good." He says, "You're ready to go." So I go in, and the technician that does everything, and then the doctor, he sits right there and monitors you. So we got on the treadmill, but now you see, psychologically, I know how to psych myself up to get this test.
Mm-hmm.
So, the first part is I pray to Jehovah. That's the first part of the psychological part. So, and I was in his office in Silver Memorial, and I look out the window and I see the guitar in the hotel. So I just psyched myself out. I look right at the guitar, and that's where I'm going to be headed, even though I'm on the treadmill. So I start off, and he's real slow, and it's like, oh, this is it, right? It's going to take me forever. And he speeds it up a little bit more, and he keeps going up and going up and going up and going up and going up to the maximum, where you're like going uphill. I'm holding on to the bar, and I kept my body straight, kept myself pulled into this, pull myself in, and I breathe through my nose the whole way with a mask on. And all of a sudden he goes, "Oh no, I don't believe this. You're going to do it again." He said, "Just shut it off." He says, "How on earth do you do this?" He says, "I don't have people that can do this." He said, "You just blew this thing away." I said, "Yeah, I told you, just watch." And I really attribute a lot to the Micro Daily because I'm 77 years old, and most people can't even get halfway through a stress test. And they interjected the nuclear material, whatever it is, that's to try to make you slow down, where you have to struggle and push through it.
Yeah.
I didn't struggle. I just pushed through it. I just kept going. And he said, "I don't believe this." And the technician says, "What's this guy? Who is this guy?" So I thought I would share that with you because Michelle said, if you hadn't had that, you probably would have died.
So I'm not sure if I set that up properly for everybody, but this man has had 2 heart attacks. So the first time he had a heart attack was about 7 or 8 years ago. A friend of his just said, "This cardiologist, you need to go there right now." He says, "I think you're in trouble right now." So he went over to see the cardiologist. He said he didn't feel bad at all. But when he got there, the cardiologist did one little test on him and says, we have to take you in right now. What do you mean we have to take you in right now? He says, if I don't open your chest up right now, you're going to drop dead. He says, wait a minute, I didn't come here for surgery. He says, you mean heart surgery? He says, if I don't do it now, you're a dead man. And so the man went in for emergency. He said, can I call my wife? Hurry it up. He had to have like quadruple bypass surgery, like right then and there. That's how urgent it was. And then he tells me, this is before I'd started the recording. So he reminded me of how many heart attacks he'd had before. He had a second heart attack about 2 years ago. So he's age 77. Since then, his wife had been introduced to Microdaily. Someone shared with them some of the recordings of these conferences. And they started taking Microdaily, and especially during this whole COVID period. And he now is describing the stress test that he just went to. He just went to his cardiologist, and the cardiologist reminded him that 15 years ago, this is prior to his having, I think, the first heart attack, he's a power walker. He did all kinds of walking, very fit person, but still he wound up with this heart attack. He said, you maxed out the stress test. He said, don't expect to do that again. There's only been 2 people that he knew that ever did it, an ex-military guy and him. These are the only 2 people in his office of his patients who had ever done it before. And he did it just again. He says he knows it was only because of Microdaily. So that's the phone call I got this morning. And it was exciting to me to hear that someone who has been through what this man has done. And he said, I just had to tell you, because his wife said to him, if I let the recording go, he would tell you to hear the whole thing, because there's a whole lot more to that conversation. But his wife said, there's no way you would have survived that stress test if it had not been for Microdaily, because they were making plans. She's planning her life as to what she's going to do when he dies. But he feels now like he's felt 15, 20 years ago. So better than that. So at age 77, he maxed out and blew away the stress test. The oncologist said, just shut it down. Just give it up, because he could not stress this man out. It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. So the question you may be asking yourself, well, what is it about Microdaily that what's all the fuss about? Is it even remotely possible that there could be some vitamin that could make that kind of a difference in somebody's life? And is that for real? Well, I assure you it's for real, because I know that man, Lou Manisosa, I've known him for like 30 years, probably. I don't even remember. I can't remember when I met him, but that's how long I've known this man. And so he was so excited to be able to share his story. So you can't make this kind of stuff up. And he was talking nonstop. And I recorded, like I said, I recorded the entire thing. And I'm going to edit it down, put his picture on it, and find parts of it that would be, relevant to his story to share the entire thing at some point. But just give thought to the part that you just heard. A man in that situation who feels like he got his life back. And in fact, he even said that during our conversation. He said, as if it was me that did it. Because remember, I didn't introduce him to Microdaily. I still don't remember how he was really introduced to it, except that someone sent him an invitation. And if you're here for the first time, you're no different than Lou Manisosa. Someone sent you an invitation and said, you should listen to this. Or someone sent you a video and encouraged you to listen to this or watch that. That's how it happened. He says, you gave me my life back. And he says, he's remembering things now that he used to struggle with. He says, I'd have to, I know I can find this in my reference or research material, but I'd have to do a search for a keyword. Then I could go and find out exactly where the reference is that I'm looking for. And this man had been a teacher of teachers, so very highly qualified in what he does, but was incapable of doing it. He says, you've given me my life back. And again, as if I had something to do with it. It's not me at all. But what it is that we have found how to get the food that was taken out of our food back in our diet. And it's this brochure that that I think kind of crystallizes or encapsulates, the story, I think, very, very nicely, because it expresses it so well. You see this woman here with her hands stretched out, and it's like a eureka moment. I know I feel like that every day when I take this stuff. But really, all we're talking about is daily nutrition, and it's sad that that is the case. But it's daily nutrition so that we can live our best life. That's what we found, folks. And we found it not because some company or some wealthy person decided, you know what, I'm going to start a company, because you do know that that's how it happens. That happens. There are people who have money, and they say, well, I need to invest in something. Where can I put some money? And then they say, well, let me go try this, or let me go try that, or let's create something. That happens, but it didn't happen in this case. Micro Daily was originally called MMF, Military Micronutrient Formulation. And it came into existence because the Department of Defense was looking for something to help the United States troops on the battlefield perform optimally. That was the original concept. It was all about United States troops. The government was looking for something to help them. This is what it looked like originally. It's a flat package. What you're looking at there is the open package. Down here, there it is folded in half. I wish I could zoom in on it, but I'm afraid I would cause my computer to crash by trying to render it different. But it's a flat package, and it would fit right there on the side of those pockets right over there on these Army fatigues. That was the original design. That was the original intention. It went through every level of testing that the United States government required. It all started in 2001. All the safety animal tests were completed. Safety tests were completed. Human clinical trials were completed. And then finally, it was available for human consumption. That's when it hit. It passed every single test that was expected of it. Everything. And did it with flying colors. 9 months of safety testing with the United States Military Internal Review Board. And during that process, Dr. Prasad had to prove that there would be no contraindications with any pharmaceutical drugs. And this is the man who's the brain behind this product. He was the professor of University of Colorado, University of Colorado School of Medicine for 30 years. Former member of the International Society of Cancer Nutrition. And the next two bullets down from there, he was invited to be a member of the Nobel Peace Prize nominating committee. So his accolades are quite extensive here. The one that still is one of my favorite is the fact that this is the guy who figured out that vitamin E succinate is cytotoxic to cancer cells. Now, I say that kind of quickly, and it may not really resonate with people, but Dr. Prasad himself, just told a story this past Sunday when I interviewed him with regard to how micronutrients impact animals and pets. He told a story of a woman. He said when he first discovered that vitamin E succinate had an effect on cancer, the paper was published, and a woman who was really fond of her cat was told by the veterinarian that the cat would not, the cancer was too far gone. She went and found vitamin E succinate and gave it to her cat, and it resolved the tumor. So he just told that story. So when I say the word cytotoxic to cancer cells, that means we'll kill the cancer cell. That's what cytotoxic means. So who knew that vitamin E succinate is very healthy for you and me? And you may not have even known, like I didn't know. I didn't know that there was that there were more than one type of vitamin E. I didn't even know that there was multiple types. There's like 6 or 7 different kinds of vitamin E. But Dr. Prasad knew it. He's the one who figured out that vitamin E succinate would kill cancer cells, cytotoxic to cancer cells. He's written 32 books, not 29 that it says there. And he's been published more than 250 times in peer review publications. And from a scientist's point of view, that is some serious credibility. 250 times. He wrote a paper on how micronutrients and the immune system would impact COVID-19. Check this out, in the summer of 2020. All right, July. It was published, summer of 2020. He identified at least 6 different ways that the immune system would disrupt what COVID-19 was trying to do with the aid of micronutrients. 6 different ways specifically. Now, that may not sound like much of anything, but keep in mind, the first emergency use authorization for any vaccine was not given until later that year, December 2020, early 2021. So in July, Dr. Prasad published a medical paper showing how micronutrients could disrupt what COVID was trying to do in about 6 different ways. We still have that paper, by the way, and we'll be talking to Dr. Prasad about it again, because we got to go round and round on this. Sometimes he hates when I dredge up some of the old documentation, but it's that old documentation that I think that makes that rings true, because people stake their life on it. People stake their life on it. People believed it. People survived because of things that this man wrote. And he wasn't writing it because he was trying to change the pharmaceutical industry. He was writing it because he was just exposing nutrients that could make a difference in life. And that's what this man did. Fortunately, the formula became available for commercial use. A company that was built around the product became available, and the formula became available. Dr. Prasad didn't have the kind of money to go buying a formula and starting a company. He's not a businessman. That's not what he does. But Dave Nemelka, the guy you see right here in the picture, was a venture capitalist. He was part of a huge hedge fund, and they would fund different businesses, startup companies. He was contacted by an associate that said, you might be interested in this one for yourself. And he was. So he decided to buy the formula and become the sole owner of the company. He formed the company Engage Global and decided to fund his own startup with the core product here, MicroDaily, in partnership with Dr. Prasad. Dr. Prasad decided that he would get behind the efforts of Dave Nemelka, because Dave Nemelka, he believed, was really going to get this product out to the masses. And so far, we're well on the way. It's happening right now. But understand something, folks, this was never supposed to happen. Do you understand that it's like the cart was before the horse? This product came into existence, and it just so happened that through a series of circumstances that the company was formed because this product needed someplace to go. And Dr. Prasad was also looking to get his discovery out to the world. So we're very fortunate that we have access to this. I asked Dave Nemelka back when I first met him about 2016 or 17, somewhere in that area, what was he going to do once the government figured out that the cat was out of the bag? He said, there'll be so many people taking the product, by the time they figure out what's going on, they won't be able to stop it. And remember, this product has been awarded a number of US patents. So there's no one that's going to be able to stop it. When you look at what's inside of it, that's on the left side of the screen, it just doesn't look very impressive until you dig deeper and realize that these are all natural sources. Everything in there is all natural sources and very, very specifically formulated, very specific. So Dr. Prasad figured out the exact right combination. He figured out the exact quantity of each of the ingredients. It's like my pen wants to write when it wants to, and from what form. Because if we go back and you say to yourself, well, I take all of those vitamins already, I take those things, but really, what is the optimal amount of vitamin A to take? Which ones of these are water soluble? Which ones are oil soluble? What's the right amount of vitamin C, the best amount? Can you overdose on it? Can you take too much? What about the B vitamins? You know, what's the correct amounts of those? How much CoQ10 is the right amount to take? Alpha lipoic acid, is there a number? What's the break point where it benefits me and when it starts to hurt me? Because some things you take, if you take them for long periods of time, they could actually do you damage. And then, did you know that N-acetylcysteine does a couple things? It elevates the body's glutathione levels, number one, but N-acetylcysteine also just so happens to bind to spike proteins. Think about that now. Think about that. N-acetylcysteine is running around the body if you have it in your body. And if it runs into a spike protein that someplace is not supposed to be, like in your bloodstream, it says, come here, I got you. What are you doing over here? And it hauls it off to jail, right into the lymphatic system. Shoves it off into the lymphatic system so it can find its way right out into solitary confinement and eventually poof power. If it's not supposed to be in your body, it's supposed to go out through the back or through the front. So it finds its way out as waste. N-acetylcysteine is running around the body doing that. See, that's one of the things that this thing is doing. N-acetylcysteine. Don't take my word for it. There's a research study on it on the government's website, pubmed.gov. Search for it. N-acetylcysteine and SARS-CoV-2 spike protein. It binds and gets rid of it out of the body. That's huge. That's huge. Huge, huge, huge. But we're not here to talk anything about the harm associated with SARS-CoV-2 or the spike protein, but just understand something. You want to have this in your body, okay? You want to have that in your body. So Dr. Prasad put this all together. And we have something amazing going for us. The reason why we have bad health, it's all explained there on the left side of the screen. It's called inflammation, free radicals, oxidative stress. That's what it's all about right there. Your cells are supposed to look like this, but because of all the toxins we're exposed to in our water, in the air, in the food, through radiation, through our cell phones, 5G, our cells end up looking like the one over here on the right. Damaged and deranged. That's what disease looks like. And if you're saying to yourself, so what? A cell looks like that. It's okay if it's only one cell, but you multiply, put that cell, let that cell be one of your heart, a cell connected to your heart. Let that cell be one connected to your pancreas or your kidney or liver. And that makes up tissue. And that tissue now is part of those organs. If an organ begins to degrade, that's called disease. That's what happens. So you don't want that to happen. You need your cells to be nice and fresh and free from damage by oxidative stress. Dr. Prasad, before kids started going back to school, decided to put the best formula that we have, the EMF formula, in a children's gummy. And that's just amazing. He didn't go with the original formula that the military had approved, but he went with the EMF formula for children. So the best formula has been made into a children's gummy. And right now there's a special going on. You buy two, you get one free. Black Friday special right now in place for the children's gummy. Kids love it. My sister takes care of her granddaughter, so my grandniece. And my brother-in-law, fully vaccinated, came home from work sick as a dog with COVID. I mean, just brutally sick, fully vaccinated. My sister, her doctor advised her against, because my sister has all kinds of immune system issues, advised her against getting the vaccines as they were in their current form, in the form at the time. And so my sister had only been taking microdaily. I sent gummies for my niece and said, make sure that this child gets these things and stays on them. The only people in the house that weren't sick was my sister and that little girl. So because she was taking, and she's going back and forth to school, kids with COVID and everything. Right there, her grandfather, you know, with COVID, and my sister and her were bulletproof. So it was kind of nice to hear that get that phone call that the child was doing quite well. So keep that in mind when you're sharing this with folks. Don't undervalue that. This is a perfect time now. This coming Sunday, by the way, I'm interviewing Dr. Prasad about this RSV, this respiratory illness that's hospitalizing kids, killing them. Some of them are dying now, but they're on oxygen. So we're going to be talking about that and how micronutrients, including that gummy, could potentially play a role in helping the immune system of these these vulnerable children to deal with serious situations like that. So this is the top shelf product. This is the one that's the best one. And just so you know, the other ones down from that are still phenomenal. They're great, but the difference with this one is that it has taken into consideration the fact that 5G technology is 700 times more powerful than the original cell phone technology. So there's 4 additional ingredients to help our bodies deal with the radiation from 5G. This CBD, this stuff here is phenomenal. There's a research study that shows that this populates the receptors in the brain that the spike protein wants to go to. Because you do know that the spike protein is causing something called COVID brain. And they've actually measured now, they had a bunch of brain scans prior to COVID-19 that were unvaccinated. They checked those brains later on, some of them who were infected, some who were not, some who were vaccinated, some who were not. And long COVID, the brain fog, they were able to actually see that those who were infected and somehow exposed to the spike protein or SARS-CoV-2, that the brains were smaller. They actually were able to measure that. They measured that the brains were smaller. So they had a comparison and able to do that. But there was a different study that was done that showed that CBD populates the locations in the brain that the spike protein wants to attach to. So it's like driving around in Walmart and looking for a parking spot. All the parking spots are full. You got to go to Costco now. No place to park. So CBD fill all the parking spots. So spike protein, can't find a parking spot. So I take 2 or 3 of those things every single day. So I think it's just absolutely wonderful, by the way. And my wife's taking them more now. I said, you stay on this because we don't need any spike protein or SARS-CoV-2 latching onto your brain. We need all those brain cells working in our favor. This is the methylated microdaily, the hydro microdaily, and these are two of my favorite products on the planet, especially that brain boost. That brain boost is just incredible. I keep it right here. I take 2 in the morning. It's like I had a double shot of espresso. I take 1 in the evening. Sometimes I'll take it before these meetings because otherwise I'll start to forget things. So I'm really loving that now. And I no longer come to one of these presentations and say, oh, no, now what are we going to talk about? It's like everything starts popping. It just starts popping. It's pretty amazing to me. And my vision is getting better because of the iBoost. My computer looks like ultra high definition. So I'm really happy about that. I'm still using my glasses. So I'm looking forward to the day when I don't need those anymore. But the last thing I want to tell you about is just one little clinical study that involved 2 rabbits. Both the rabbits were fed very, very nicely. They both were fed very, very well. But they both also took a trip to the Space Center at NASA. They may have been told that they were going to go see the space shuttle or something like that. I don't know what story they told those rabbits, but they were happy to go. But when they got there, they got slammed with lethal doses of radiation. Lethal doses of radiation in the name of science. So calm down. So they needed to know something. And it was in NASA, the Space Center was the only place that had radiation devices to reach the level that was needed for this study, for this particular test. So just remember they ate good, all right? They had a good meal. But this particular rabbit over here, this was bunny number one, and this one here, let's call him number two. I guess my pen doesn't want to, it works when it wants to work. So anyway, the one on the left is number one, the one on the right is number two. Both of them had food, but the one on the right had the food that's missing from food. Look at their livers, their lungs. Look at the lung tissue. The one on the left, bunny number one, looks like it was smoking lots of cigarettes every day. Lungs are fried. But bunny on the right, lungs look like fresh, clear, non-damaged, no oxidative stress, no free radical damage. See, that's what you want your lungs to look like. Keep in mind, now you may be saying to yourself, well, I don't have any plans to go to NASA, the Space Center in Texas. I don't have any plans whatsoever to be exposed to that much radiation. But let me just tell you something, folks, whether you want to or not, we're all being exposed. Remember, cell phones today, 700 times stronger radiation than the original cell phone technology right here. And we're all walking around with it. So just ask yourself a question. Do you prefer to be bunny number one or bunny number two? That's the only question you have to ask. Which do you want your children, to be? Bunny number one or bunny number two? That's it. So that's just one of the clinical studies. And I said those things to kind of illustrate what was going on, because the science of it is very technical and kind of boring in my personal opinion. But that helps you to understand what happened. We're all being exposed. Maybe not to lethal doses of radiation like those two rabbits were, but don't tell me it's not causing brain cancer. It is. It is. You know how I know? Because any of you ever use your phone, just hold your phone up to your head? You ever find yourself getting a headache? Yeah. There were people who literally got brain cancer on the side of their head from their cell phones. Today, the number one form of cancer in children is no longer leukemia. The World Health Organization has reported that the number one form of cancer in children today is glioblastoma, brain cancer. Today, that's a fact. So we're all being exposed to it. So again, what do you want your lungs, your brain to look like? Bunny number one or bunny number two? So Microdaily is very good for protecting with that. But the thing that really got my attention with this product, that you just have to know this, because poor Jeff, I told Jeff to stop telling me anything else. I don't want to hear anything else about your presentation when I saw this patent right here. Treatment for diabetes mellitus. That just blew my mind right then and there. I was done because I'd never seen anything that had a patent that included the words treatment for diabetes. I've never seen anything like that. And I have been doing research for a long time. And I had some really good products. I still do have some really good products. It's not Microdaily. Really good product. We have thousands of clients that we've helped out over the years. But not a one of them could you say in any form, be it a patent or otherwise, the words treatment for diabetes. It just didn't happen because diabetes was so elusive, so challenging to deal with. But not anymore, folks. Not anymore. I ain't scared of diabetes anymore. It's like I finally found what I've been searching for from the time that my mother died until now. I finally found it, because this is making a difference. My mother died so-called from the complications of diabetes. That's what did it. And every time I hear about someone who's getting off their medications, it just excites me, because that's why I did a career change, because I wanted people to be able to find a way off dependency of things like insulin, maybe metformin, glucophage, those other things. Read the side effects of some of that, by the way. Read the side effects, and you'll want to get away from it as well. These are just some of the books that Dr. Prasad has written. And you'll notice that there is one there for diabetes. You may see that one right here in the middle of the screen. And there's bunches of them there for cancer. The one that connects to my friend Lou Manasotis is this one right here on heart disease. That's just amazing. You mean to tell me that there's a micronutrient that could help the body fight heart disease. One of the first things Dr. Nacuzzi said to me when I sent him information about MMF back when we were first investigating this product, right after Jeff told me about it, because I don't go in any direction unless the team that I work with is also excited about it and has also validated it. He calls me up and says, I must meet this Prasad. Get me in front of him. This man has focused a lot on the brain and on the heart. That's what he said. He said, I need to meet him. I need to talk to him to understand what his thinking was. He is brilliant based off what I see. And so that was my next mission, was to get Nacuzzi and Prasad in the same airspace. Mission accomplished. They talked for a long time. I think I put my recorder there, and I got to go back and see if I've kept that audio recording of their conversation. But it was enough to convince me that that the world needed to know more about microdaily. So there you have it in a nutshell, folks. Just a little snapshot as to what microdaily is all about. We do want to share with you just one or two testimonials. So, oh, Jeff is here with us. So, Jeff, what you got up your sleeve? We know you got something up your sleeve.
You know, Jonathan, we had a conversation yesterday about just playing a compilation video that I put together. If we did it right now, you'd have it.
Okay. I think we need to pray. I think we need to play that compilation video. What y'all think? Y'all want to see this compilation video? Let's get this compilation video played here. I think we need to do that.
All right.
Yes. All right. Let's
So
do it.
hang on 1 second. Here we go. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So, yeah. Okay. I'm going to have to run it back to the beginning. Yeah, here we go.
Hi, we're Jeff and Helen Ashby.
We're out sharing Micro Daily with people that we know, care about, and truly love. These video testimonials are something that we put together with my phone. Well, you're going to hear stories from our friends. You're going to hear stories from our children. You're going to hear stories from people that we didn't know before we started out on this journey with Engage Global and Micro Daily.
My name is Jesse Collin, and I am doing currently a homeless project downtown Salt Lake City. Okay, so since I've been started taking the Brain Boost, the Micro Daily Hydro, well, I can tell you this: the day that Aaron forced this stuff down my throat, I went home that night, and I immediately started to make better decisions.
Hi, I'm Aaron Taylor, and this is my beautiful wife.
Alexis Taylor, and I have been on Micro Daily for quite some time now along with Brain Boost, which I love. And I was told that I would never have kids, but we have 2 rambunctious boys and another one on the way, and we're really excited. Thank you, Micro Daily.
Thanks to Brain Boost and Micro Daily, I feel like I did again 10 years ago, and it has been the biggest blessing in our lives.
Just give the body what it needs, and the body is the miracle. It will take care of so many things.
My name is Michelle Taylor, and I wanted to tell the story about my son, Isaiah. Within 3 days, he had a total change of attitude, a whole change of demeanor. He's never had an issue where I had to come to the school and be present or shadow him since he's been taking the Micro Daily, which is pretty amazing. All Micro Daily did was correct a deficiency that he was having. For myself, it was huge for my training. I was able to get like record PRs in my races. I was a lot stronger. I had a lot more endurance, but my recovery was so much faster. Nothing else changed. No other products, no other supplements had come in except the Micro Daily.
My name's Larry Adair. I love playing pickleball. I've been playing now for about a year, and it's because of the Micro Daily. And I've not had a cold in 5 years. I'm able to do things that I didn't think I'd ever be able to do at my age of 75. I love this. Micro Daily helps my body get what it needs. It's, our bodies break down the older we get, and this has helped me to have the stamina that I need.
So I'm Molly McDaniel. I've been suffering from stomach issues most of my life. I had no real answers. I tried the naturopath, I tried the ER, I tried the regular doctors, and then I tried Micro Daily. And 3 days, my life changed.
Hi, I'm Karsten Watkins, and I've been taking Brain Boost for about a month now. I'm able to focus, I'm able to have that mental clarity, and I feel like I've gotten my life back.
If we had friends out there that had this product, we would love it if they shared it with us. In fact, I did have a girlfriend that shared it with us, and I am so grateful for that, we really want to share this with all of our friends and people that we care about.
I'm Isabella. I've been taking Micro Daily and Brain Boost together. They've been so great together. They really help me stay focused and kind of I squirrel less. I'm less get distracted, and it's a lot easier to stay on task. So here on campus, there's pretty much pills for everything, but I feel so confident because of Dr. Prasad's research for exactly what the human body needs, that I love that I can feel confident that I'm giving my body the nourishment that it needs. Brain Boost should be in every college student's backpack.
My Brain Boost I will not let anyone dip into. So it's less than $1 a day. Just click on my link and get your own.
So there you got a chance to meet several of our family members, Aaron and Alexis, and the two little grandkids. And then there you met Michelle, our oldest daughter, and oldest granddaughter, Isabella. So
Thank you very much.
kind of fun. You bet.
That's a very good one. And loaded with all kinds of nuggets and gems. So we appreciate that one, Jeff. That's a good one. I think the thing that stood out was when I'm assuming your daughter-in-law that said that she was told that she would never get pregnant, and she's now on her third child.
Yeah.
So I would venture to say that that micronutrient plays a serious role in how the fertility.
At least in our family, we 33 grandchildren.
33 grandchildren.
Yeah, we'll have another one here on the 29th of November, and then another one mid-December. So it'll be 35 before the end of the year.
Wow, congratulations. Grandpa.
Yeah.
35 times. That's just amazing. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, well, thank you very much. Well, let's see if anyone's got a couple of questions. We have just a couple minutes that we can take a few questions if anyone has a question about something that came up. We have Jeff here with us. So of him also and some of the history that he knows about this product and this company. And there's no such thing as a stupid question, folks. The only stupid one is the one that was never asked. So don't hold back. There's got to be something that you're curious about. Oh, there's a hand that went up, huh? Slaughter. Go ahead, Miss Slaughter.
Yeah. Hi. I was wondering, so if you just take the Micro Daily, you don't have to take any other supplements, like, the CQ10, you don't have to add nothing else to it. Just the Micro Daily will do what's needed.
Very good. Very good. Because you'll notice that one of the ingredients on Micro Daily was CoQ10. So the very thing that you're talking about, there was a time when CoQ10 was one of the things that people took for their immune system. But Dr. Prasad added it into this, and he's got the exact right amount and the right ratio. So when you take 3 capsules twice a day, you're getting the right ratio of every one of the supplements. So we would encourage taking all your other vitamins and set them aside for a while and let Dr. Prasad's formula do what it does. So very good question.
That alone.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Thank you for asking your question. Appreciate you being here. And we'll see what happens. Keep us posted on what happens with you in the future, okay? And Sharon Robinson, is that what? Can't make out that last
Yes,
name.
I want to know when, of course, when Dr. Prasad came up with the formula, and then later on, David, the CEO, and him bond together. Now, with that product, do the military still use that, or the military said, "Okay, Dr. Prasad, thank you very much, and now you can, go someplace else and use your product." And what is the military doing? I mean, because Dr. Prasad made it specifically for the military, so now we're using it, or we have it now. So, does the military still have that, or what?
They don't.
Excellent question.
They don't have it any longer. They placed a $2 million order for it. Dr. Prasad's company put it together, created this packaging. It went to war this way, but right in the middle of that, before that they'd even really dispersed it out, it made it into several Navy SEAL teams and a battalion or two of Marines. And then the entire project, even though the money had been spent, the product had been created, and it had been dispersed, budget cuts pulled it back. At least that's what we were told. And when David Nemelka inked the agreement with Dr. Prasad, we had to go out and identify where all of it was located. So they had to fly it in from, tents in Afghanistan and bunkers in, Desert Storm, and just it had been dispersed out. A lot of it was still here in military warehouses in the U.S. It hadn't even been sent overseas yet.
So it's just laying there.
Correct. It's just you've seen the scene at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark, where they had just tucked it back in a warehouse, and it was to be forever forgotten about. But Dr. Prasad just could not leave it in that setting. So it was just truly a match made in heaven as far as we're concerned.
Oh, okay.
But here's another little interesting factoid, though. There was enough belief in the product that there is a lot of product out there that they were never able to recover. They knew where it had been dispensed and how many units they had sent out, and when they tried to get it all back, it's in somebody's bunker for the future.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Somebody realizes what it is.
Since it never expires, that's a serious future right there. That's pretty good. Because initially, that's the way it was all sold. When this company first got started, when I first met Jeff, that's the packaging. The packaging was in that little, just like that. And I still have some of those. So, but now it's a whole new day now. It's so much more convenient the way that we have it. And Pat, please, Hankerson has a question for us.
Hi, Jonathan. My question basically is, I've been doing also my background study on all the products and what's in it and what it does for each and every type of condition. But my question is also for such as myself. Personally, I never had an underlying condition. I may suffer from a little inflammation here and there, but my question is, I'm also one of those type of people, like on Wednesday, I may have my wine down Wednesday evenings.
Mm-hmm.
And I do take the Micro Daily, but I want to find out, would me drinking like a glass of red wine occasionally, would that affect the Micro Daily when I take it the next day?
Another good question. Another good question. Jeff, have you seen anyone have trouble with Micro Daily, that wine, or let's even talk about scotch?
No. In fact, we had a group of ours that was in the New Orleans area, and they were actually going to go down during Mardi Gras and toss out the little week's worth of green capsules, because everything is kind of a green theme, because
yeah.
it's one of the very best.
Like that?
Exactly. One of the very best hangover medications that there is. Take it before you go out drinking, take it after you're finished drinking, and all of the ill effects that usually are associated with the aftermath of drinking more than you should, like at a Mardi Gras. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. In fact, we've got a
You might be telling folks too much now, Jeff, giving them a license to go and get inebriated here.
No, I'm just we got a bartender in Hawaii that in his little instead of having the peanuts and the things that you eat there along the bar, he had a little tray with those sample bags in, and people would ask him what they were, and he says, just take a couple now before you start drinking, and then take these others home with you. And he started putting together quite a business, because he's got that relationship, because people do business with people they know, like, and trust. And you get pretty close to some of these bartenders if you're in there pretty regularly. So he put together a whole business just about helping people enjoy that indulgence more.
Yeah, well, there's some people, that's their life. They really, they live, for that. So interesting. But Pat, in answer to your question then, so no, an occasional, glass of wine or whatever has no impact whatsoever. But anything to excess is not good, but this stuff is so good that it's overcoming even serious levels of toxicity, alcohol toxicity. So very good.
Yeah, one of Dr. Prasad's favorite drinks is a Manhattan. Just for those of you that ever want to know.
All right, very good.
Yeah, I might have to join him one day.
All right, good. And Sharon had a question.
I'm just going to follow up on my. He also shares a story. His mentor, Linus Pauling, the only winner of 2. Yeah. So Linus says vodka is his favorite because it is the purest, and he drinks it, and he does 2 of them just quickly, so that he can just enjoy the rest of the evening being around others. I guess being around others was kind of a stress for Linus, and so he'd take two shots of vodka, and then he could stand to be around other people.
That's interesting.
Anyway,
that's interesting. That's a nice factoid. Okay, Sharon, Weatherspoon, did your question get addressed?
I wanted to ask, I was noticing the video of your family, Jeff, and your daughter-in-law. With the person that has PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome,
that's
and fertility issues, what would you suggest?
Exactly. That's exactly what Alexis had, fibroid tumors that had then progressed to a point where it was the PCOS. And so, yes, at that point, we didn't realize the significance of increasing the dose like we do now. But she did, instead of taking 2 capsules in the morning and 2 capsules at night, she was taking 3 and 3 and 3. So she just upped those doses there in the beginning to see what it would do to help her out, and it all balanced out. Her cycles were such a mess that, like you said, the doctors had told her that she'd never be able to get pregnant. In fact, they had wanted to do things to really deal with all of the issues that she had there that would have prevented her from ever getting pregnant, and thank goodness she didn't go that far.
Yeah, like a hysterectomy. They just take everything out.
Yeah. So did she take anything else besides the microdaily EMF?
That's all we had. That's all we had. In fact, it was just the Micro Daily original. We didn't even have the EMF yet or the hydro. So it was just truly the Micro Daily at, it was a 2 in the morning and 2 at night. And so she was now taking, instead of 4, she was taking 9.
And one last question. If the EMF, the red bottle have everything, the green and purple bottle do,
Yes.
why advertise the other 2 bottles and just not advertise the red bottle?
We get that question a lot, and it's all because of affordability. We have people that can only afford the green bottle, and we'd rather them have access to something. We also need to keep the continuity with this is exactly what the military took. But there's also enough people that understand the power of the MTHFR, and that was the next in the evolutionary step. I see at one point probably the purple bottle possibly being discontinued, just because you get so much more value for your money taking the Micro Daily EMF because of the 4 additional ingredients, 50% more product, because now, you're 180 capsules versus 120. So
Wow.
60 more capsules.
Thank y'all both.
Yep.
Thank you, Sharon. Excellent question. I'm glad that you caught that one. Now, Ms. Slaughter, you have a follow-up question, Ms. Slaughter?
Yes, I have advanced Lyme disease. Would just taking a Micro Daily EMF help with that?
Very good question.
I've got stories that and videos that absolutely
all kinds of stories that show that one.
We do. We've got a lot. Knowing more about it, particularly having the probiotic along with it, is going to be very powerful. Brain boost, and then believe it or not, the CBD boost would be very, very beneficial for you as your body is going through that process of correcting the deficiencies. But I could spin up a video here really quick where somebody 30 years of Lyme's disease is gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's show it. Yeah, it's kind of shocking, Ms. Slaughter, to see some of the things that's been happening to folks in that very situation, because you know how hard it is to get rid of it, and we have come to learn just how difficult it is to get rid of that situation.
It's unbelievable. I've had it now for like 40 years, but I was always told at the beginning that it was fibromyalgia. But one of my doctors said that word was just something when they don't know what's really happening.
Yeah.
I just found out 6 years ago that it was actually all these years Lyme disease.
Wow.
And every year it gets worse.
Wow.
I'm getting so many videos here now. I need to file them a little better.
Is there a date or something? Because I know you guys have old ones that, I was told that you can go look up ones that I can look up. I don't want to hold you up.
No, you're absolutely right. I actually may be able to find it on my my alternate device here, because Jeff just showed it. We actually displayed it not too long ago, and I believe the gentleman in the pink shirt, Oscar. Did Oscar have Lyme disease?
No, that's the diabetes one. But it was on that same night that we did it. Was
it really? Okay.
Here we go. I've got it. Here we go.
Dennis Anderson. And I'm a walking miracle. But what I was going to preface everything was, when I tell people all these amazing results, and then they sample the product for 2 weeks and go, why am I not getting any results? It's like, okay, how sick are you? What's going on? What type of nutrients, how much exercise, how much food do you take? What type of food? But for me, for the first time in 27 years, I am over Lyme disease. That's where a tick bites you. And a spirochete goes into the body, goes into the brain, starts eating the brain away. It eats the nervous system away. And you become unable at times to walk, joint pain in every joint, muscle pains. You can't read, you can't function, you can't think. You're lucky to even take one step at a time. But I've been on the product now for 3 years. I will not live without it. The first thing I saw was I had neuropathy from my knee on down so bad that 5 years ago, I dropped a 30-pound vise on it, didn't feel a thing. That's after breaking 2 bones, blood all over the place. Now, if I step on a kernel of popcorn or the cat food, my wife hears me real well. The other thing, I got actually 2 doctor stories I like to tell. One, I was developing a double vision in my eye. My daughter works for Dr. Richens, and they had me coming in every 3 months because I had a cataract that was growing. And they figured, okay, when it gets so bad, they're going to operate it, make money, and get me back to seeing. Well, I start on the MMF, and I go in there, and my daughter checks me and gives all the test results to the doctor. She looks at it and goes, "Oh, Dennis, you're seeing through your cataract. Come back in a year." I go, "Okay." All I can think of is every 3 months, I don't have to spend that $45, you know? Well, I get home, tell my wife, the phone rings, it's the doctor's office. "Could you please bring information and samples of what you're taking?" I'm going, "Great, okay." Now I've got another man story. It's the prostate issue. Yes, the man story. Women sometimes don't, no, I'm just kidding. But over the last 6-7 years, my PSA, that's the count of if you're in trouble with your prostate, kept growing, jumping 1 to 2 points every year, bang, bang, bang. And if it gets above 4, you're in what they call the cancer region. Well, 2.5 years ago, I hit 3.7, and my doctor was very emphatic that I do something that year. Well, that's about the time I'm getting started on MMF. And I'm noticing I'm able to flow much better, that I'm actually was skipping some of the medication. And so the next year I show up and I give him information about MMF, and I start telling him, "Hey, I'm not taking your medication. Things are going great." And he was all upset because, this is the year. I mean, you were up to 3.7. He just went on and on. Finally, he checks me and goes, "Oh, it shrunk." Okay. The PSA went from 3.7 down to 1.3 in a year's time frame. I am now off my prostate medications. Thank you, MMF.
Thank you.
You bet.
Wow, that's these stories just get more and more amazing each time. But there you go, Ms. Slaughter. There's one example, and there's multiple examples just like that of individuals who were able to get past Lyme disease. We're way over time now, but go ahead, Evelyn. Let's take your question.
Yes, I'd like to know whether there's anything that would help someone with essential tremor. That's something I've always wondered about, because it seems that research is going on for so long and they haven't found anything that would reduce the tremors.
Tremors, is it connected with Parkinson's or?
It's very similar to Parkinson's, but it's different.
Okay.
And, they can't seem to find anything to help that, the essential tremor. It mimics Parkinson's.
Well, I don't think we've had, Jeff, have you had a specific story along that line?
I got somebody that has noticed. I'll fast forward through the video and play just the end of it.
Okay.
How about we do that?
Because do that.
Drums.
Oh, no. We're getting stuff up right now.
Oh, yeah.
Because when it comes to Parkinson's, Ms. Burns, raising glutathione levels makes a big difference with the shakes in Parkinson's, but this raises glutathione and sustains it. So anyway, if we've got a story here that Jeff can share that could very well.
Oh, I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
We don't. I mean, it's part of a much larger story where it's going into chemo brain. She went through a cancer type situation. Shoot, Jonathan, I'm just going to play the whole thing.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Hi, we're Steve and Linda Stay, and our story with Engage started probably 4 years ago when a friend told us about this product, and I looked at it and said, yeah, nothing special here. The cost was, we were used to spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month on supplements. And so I dismissed it. But Linda, even though we spend that money on supplements, Linda was diagnosed with cancer and breast cancer. And after surgery and extensive chemo treatments, life wasn't going real well for her.
Right. I had survived the cancer, which I kind of wished I hadn't, because now I was dealing with the side effects, and chemo brain is a real thing. If you know people that have gone through chemo, trust me, they're struggling. And what chemo brain does is, number one, you can't really piece thoughts together. You can't function like you used to. I was a very multi-functioning multitasker, and I couldn't do that anymore. Couldn't think, and I had unreasonable anxiety and fear that would just come out of nowhere. And I honestly felt like I can't live with this brain. I don't want to be here anymore. And it was hard to, I didn't express that, but Steve picked up on the fact that I was really struggling, and he felt.
Yeah, we'd spent literally thousands of dollars a month over the year on supplements, IV nutritional things trying to prevent that. And watching your sweetheart go through that kind of stuff isn't fun. And so I was searching, deep in my heart for an answer. And something told me to call my friend Jeff. And I needed to talk to him about what was called MMF then, and Microdaily. And I called Jeff and said, I need to talk to you about this. For some reason, I'm feeling that's what Linda needs. And we got together a few weeks later as he made it back into town and
started on the product. And within a week, 10 days, I started to feel a little bit better. And it wasn't too long after that we had the opportunity to meet Dr. Prasad. And I told him what I was struggling with, and he held my hand and promised me that those brain cells could be restored, and that I would get better, and that I would be myself again. And I just started to cry and said, I hope so. I really hope so. And it was at that time that I confided in Steve how desperate I felt. And every week that went by, I felt more of my self coming back. It was like I could feel my brain coming alive again, and I could function again like I used to. I was back. I was back, and it's truly been incredible. I'm including energy and aches and pains and all of that type of
but
stuff.
Your brain was functioning like at the incredible level that it always had.
Yeah.
As a caretaker, that's not an easy position to take either. But I noticed with taking it that my sleep was deeper. I was sleeping deeper, and I'd had a hand tremor that had been progressing over the years, something that kind of runs in my family. And Linda noticed about 6-7 weeks into using this product that I'm pouring some tea from a bottle into another container. She says, your hand's not shaking. I went, wow, it isn't. The other hand tried it.
It was awesome.
And so we've loved it as we understand the science more. One of the best decisions we ever made was to give it a try.
And again, that we figure that we replaced about $300 a month
Just
from-
multiple
in
vitamins.
vitamin supplements that we were taking, $300 a month each. So that's a real winner.
Here comes the beat.
Wow.
There you have it. So I know you've seen it before, but I was going to play just the last little bit where Steve talks about
Oh,
the hand trimmer going away, but you got
no,
the
it, it, it doesn't matter whether 20 of us have seen it before. This is the 1 or 2 people that have never seen it. That's what matters. And so Ms. Burns benefited from it. I'm sure a lot of folks that are here for the first time. That's a beautiful, beautiful video. No question
So
about it. Thank you.
the only thing in that video is where the gentleman said that his hand began to shake. That's the only part.
Mm-hmm.
But
Correct.
That's
he
right.
said after taking the Micro Daily, it lessened or it stopped or what?
Yeah, the shaking stopped.
Because most of the video seemed to have been focused on cancer and the woman.
That's correct. That's correct. And he mentioned that, Jeff mentioned that at the beginning, that only the last part of it was going to be relevant to your situation. But the whole rest of the story, the whole rest of the story just shows the power of putting nutrients in the body and overcoming even a toxic element like chemo, in the body. And it would have neurological effects, and it would have an impact on the central nervous system, which contributes to out of control tremors and things like that. So all of it really fits your situation, even though that part was the only thing that manifests exactly like yours.
All right, thank you for that.
Yeah, you're very welcome. And you might want to try adding the CBD boost to your program also. So I'd highly recommend that you go with the Micro Daily EMF. Consider taking 4 capsules 2 or 3 times a day, if you can afford it, and then add the CBD 1 capsule at least twice a day. Okay.
Yes, I plan to take the CBD. I've been taking CBD for several years.
Oh, good.
But I'm gonna switch over to the CBD.
It's pure. It's high quality. It's really, really good. So, but thank you, Ms. Burns, for asking your question. That's just opened up a whole nother element of our discussion that I wasn't expecting to open.
All right,
So
thank you for listening.
thank you. Okay, folks. So Jeff, thank you very much. Once again, we've gone long, but this is well worth it for us. And for any of you that are here for the first time, just get back with the person who invited you, and they will help you set up your own wholesale account. We highly recommend that you get your order in on subscription. That's the best way to do it. You get the cheapest price that way for it. And stick with it for at least 90 days before you give up on it, because it takes 90 days to really know if something is benefiting you or not. Make sure that you're drinking sufficient water, because water will help your body to deal with any of the Herxheimer or detox effects that you might have. Not everyone has it, but some do. But drink plenty of water, and that will help with it. But coming up with the rest of the week, we have a lot of interesting programs that are going to be hosted this week. Jeff is hosting a discussion for those interested in the business opportunity and understand the compensation plan. Make sure that you're on this coming Thursday evening. That'll be 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the corporate account. So look for the calendar, and you'll find the Zoom link for that, or someone will post it in the chat. On Thursday evening, you're at 8 o'clock. You said that's 8 o'clock Thursday, right, Jeff?
Correct. 8 o'clock Eastern. Yeah. So 5, 6, 7, 8.
8 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And then tomorrow night with Dr. Prasad, we're going to be talking about gut health and the probiotic. And that's also the same 8 o'clock Eastern on the corporate line.
Very good. So Wednesday and Thursday evening at 8 o'clock, you don't want to miss that. This particular Zoom here, I'll be doing another meeting at 6 p.m. on Thursday. So that'll be before that. So if you have guests that you want to invite to that, you're welcome to come to there. But then on Sunday at 5 o'clock, interviewing Dr. Prasad about RSV. And any who are interested in the business opportunity, we'll have a business opportunity meeting following that major meeting also on Sunday. So 5 and 6 o'clock on Sunday. So lots of activity this week. Okay. So thank you all very much for joining us. Remember, folks, testimonials are purely anecdotal. The comments that have been made have not been evaluated by the FDA. We strongly recommend that you seek the competent medical advice of professionals that you trust. Please don't do anything we say because we say it. Take this information. This presentation has been for information, educational, and entertainment purposes only. So, but it's information that you can take into consideration when you're making a decision about your health and well-being. What happens to one person, remember, testimonials are anecdotal. What happens to one person may or may not happen to you. Okay, so thank you folks very much for joining us. And Jeff, thank you so much for being available to support our meeting tonight. Good night, everybody.
Let's
Good night.
go.
Thank you. Thank you, Jonathan. Great call. Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks,
Great
Carol,
call.
for putting the things in the chat.
Good night, Jonathan. Thanks, Jeff.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Jonathan, Jeff.
Bye-bye.
Let's go.
Yeah.